Let's be honest. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're busy doing all the wrong things. We wake up, rush through the day, tick off 100 to-dos, but deep down, we feel stuck. That's exactly why. Stephen Covey wrote, "The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People," not to help you work harder, but to help you work wiser. This book isn't about hacks or quick fixes. It's about building a life that actually works. A life driven by values, not pressure. A life where success and peace can live in the same house. So in this video, we'll break down each of the 7 habits in simple, real-life language. By the end, you'll not only understand the book, you'll start seeing your life differently. What this book is about. This isn't another quick tips self-help book. It's a framework for living with purpose, discipline, and inner power. Covey doesn't just teach you how to manage time better or set goals. He goes deeper into character, integrity, mindset, and alignment. He shows how true effectiveness starts from within, from changing your thinking, your values, and your personal vision. The 7 habits are not random. They are a step-by-step growth journey, from dependence, blaming others or relying on others, to independence, personal responsibility and control, to interdependence, healthy relationships, influence, and leadership. About the author. Stephen R. Covey was more than just a writer. He was a world-renowned leadership expert, teacher, and business consultant. His book has sold over 40 million copies and has been named one of the most influential books of all time in personal growth and leadership. The core idea of the book. Covey's big idea is simple but powerful. Who you are is far more important than what you do. If you want lasting success, you have to build it on character, not personality tricks. So he introduces 7 habits, not goals, not tips, but habits. Habits that change the way you think, act, and lead your life. The 7 habits at a glance. Brief preview. Before we dive into them one by one, here's a quick preview. Be proactive. Take charge of your actions. Begin with the end in mind. Know where you're going before you start. Put first things first. Focus on what matters most. Think win-win. Build relationships that benefit everyone. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Listen before you talk. Synergize. Work together better than you could alone. Sharpen the saw. Keep growing mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. These habits are divided into 3 stages. Private victory, habits 1 to 3. You win over yourself. Public victory, habits 4 and 6. You win with others. Renewal, habit 7. You keep yourself strong for the long game. Now let's break down all 7 habits, what they mean, how they work, and how you can apply them today to level up your life. Habit 1. Be proactive. This is where it all begins. Covey says, "You are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions." Being proactive means taking full responsibility for your life. No more blaming your boss, your parents, the economy, or your past. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. Most people live in reaction mode, waiting for something to happen, then responding emotionally. But effective people operate from their circle of influence. They focus on what they can control, their thoughts, their choices, their attitude, their behavior. They don't say, "I can't." They say, "What can I do?" Covey's golden quote here, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." How to apply this? Stop complaining and start owning. Instead of saying, "I have to," say, "I choose to." When something goes wrong, ask, "What can I do about it?" Being proactive is the foundation of personal freedom. Without it, the other 6 habits won't stick. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Imagine you're at your own funeral. People are gathered, family, friends, colleagues. Someone steps up to speak about your life. Now pause. What do you want them to say? That you were kind, honest, that you built something meaningful, that you raised your kids with love. Stephen Covey asks us to imagine this scene because it forces clarity. Most people go through life reacting, chasing money, chasing recognition, chasing distractions. But when you ask yourself, what do I want people to remember me for? Everything changes. This is what Habit 2 is about. Living with direction, not drift. It means defining your values, your vision, and your principles before the world defines them for you. Covey calls this having a personal mission statement. It's like writing the blueprint before building the house. Without it, you may work hard all your life, only to realize your ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. So Habit 2 reminds us, success isn't just about speed, it's about the right direction. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? What kind of relationships do I want to build? What impact do I want to leave? Once you have clarity, every decision, big or small, can align with that bigger picture. Habit 3. Put first things first. Okay, you've got a vision. You know what matters most. Now comes the real challenge, living it daily. This is where Habit 3 comes in. Put first things first. We live in a world full of noise, emails, notifications, endless to-do lists. Most of us confuse being busy with being effective. But being busy doesn't always move us closer to what matters. Covey uses the time management matrix, 4 quadrants: urgent and important, crises, deadlines. Not urgent, but important: planning, relationships, health, personal growth. Urgent, but not important: interruptions, distractions. Not urgent and not important: scrolling endlessly, wasting time. Most people spend their lives stuck in quadrant 1, firefighting, or quadrant 3, answering every ping. But truly effective people focus on quadrant 2, things that are important but not urgent. That's where the real growth happens. Exercising before your health fails, spending time with family before relationships weaken, learning before your skills become outdated. So Habit 3 is discipline. It's saying no to the unimportant so you can say yes to what really matters. In simple words, don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities. Habit 4. Think win-win. Life often feels like a competition. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. That's how most of us are raised to think. But Covey flips this idea on its head. He says true effectiveness comes when we stop playing the zero-sum game. Win-win is not about me winning at your expense, or you winning at mine. It's about both of us winning together. It's a mindset of abundance, not scarcity. Most conflicts in life come because people believe there's only so much success, so much money, so much recognition to go around. So we fight for our peace. But in reality, life offers more than enough if we approach it with creativity and cooperation. Win-win doesn't mean you have to be nice all the time. It means you balance courage and consideration. You stand up for yourself, but you also deeply respect others. Covey explains 5 key dimensions that build win-win character. You need integrity and maturity to balance self-interest with mutual benefit. Relationships. Trust is the foundation. Without trust, win-win turns into manipulation. Agreements. Clear expectations make both sides accountable. Systems. Environments should reward cooperation, not competition. Processes. The way you negotiate and solve problems should always aim for solutions where everyone feels good walking away. Imagine 2 co-workers fighting for credit. In a win-lose mindset, one of them has to look good while the other feels sidelined. But in win-win, they both share credit, both shine, and both get stronger. Win-win is not just a tactic. It's a way of thinking about life. It turns relationships into partnerships instead of rivalries. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Most of us are terrible listeners. We don't really listen to understand. We listen to reply. While someone is speaking, we're already crafting our comeback, our defense, or our clever story. Covey says this is a huge mistake. If you want to influence people, if you want deeper relationships, you must listen first. Really listen. With empathy. Empathic listening isn't about agreeing with someone. It's about putting yourself in their shoes, seeing the world as they see it, and letting them feel truly heard. When people feel understood, their defenses drop. They open up, and only then are they ready to hear what you have to say. Think of it like giving someone oxygen. If they can breathe freely, they'll trust you. If not, they'll fight you. Covey tells us to stop offering quick fixes or advice before we understand the whole picture. Imagine a doctor prescribing medicine without diagnosis. That's what we do in conversations all the time. Once you understand someone, then you can explain your own point of view. But by then, the ground has already shifted. They're not resisting anymore because they feel respected. Habit 5 is the secret to influence. Listen first, talk second. Habit 6, synergize. The power of creative cooperation. This is where Covey takes effectiveness to its highest level, working together in a way that creates results no one could achieve alone. Synergy is not just about compromise, where everyone gives up something and meets halfway. It's about creating something entirely new, a third alternative that's better than what anyone had in mind individually. Covey describes synergy as not my way, not your way, but a better way. Think about nature. A forest thrives not because each tree stands alone, but because they share roots, nutrients, and shade. That's synergy. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. In human relationships, synergy happens when people value each other's differences instead of trying to force sameness. Different perspectives, experiences, and strengths come together to create unique solutions. Where one person sees a limitation, another sees a possibility. Together they create innovation. Covey also points out that achieving synergy requires openness and trust. If people are defensive, competitive, or unwilling to listen, synergy dies before it even starts. But when there's genuine respect and a willingness to explore, amazing things happen. On a practical level, this habit is especially powerful in teams, families, and partnerships. For example, in business, instead of different departments fighting over resources, they can look for creative ways to share and expand them. In relationships, instead of arguing to prove who's right, both partners can search for solutions where both feel heard and satisfied. Synergy is the habit of turning differences into opportunities, not threats. It's about moving from you versus me to we. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw, renewal and continuous growth. The final habit is about taking care of yourself, because without renewal, all the other habits eventually break down. Covey calls this sharpening the saw. Imagine you meet someone frantically sawing a tree. The saw is dull and they're struggling. You suggest, why not take some time to sharpen the saw? But they reply, I don't have time, I'm too busy sawing. That's how many of us live. We're so busy doing the work that we forget to renew ourselves. Covey divides renewal into 4 dimensions: physical, exercise, nutrition, rest. A healthy body supports a sharp mind and strong will. Mental, reading, learning, writing, problem solving. Keep your mind active and growing. Social, emotional, building meaningful relationships, showing empathy, practicing service. Connection gives life energy. Spiritual, reflecting on values, meditating, praying, spending time in nature. This keeps you grounded in purpose. If you ignore renewal, burnout eventually destroys effectiveness. But if you make sharpening the saw a habit, you increase your capacity in all the other habits. This is why habit 7 is the one that feeds all the others. It's the habit of balance, renewal, and long-term growth. Last words, when you put all 7 habits together, they form a journey. First, you master yourself. Habits 1-3. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. Put first things first. Then, you master relationships with others. Habits 4-6. Think win-win. Seek first to understand, synergize. Finally, you sustain it all with renewal. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. Covey's message is timeless. Success is not luck, but a series of principles lived daily. The 7 habits aren't quick fixes. They're lifelong practices that help you grow from dependence to independence and then to interdependence, where real effectiveness lies.